Hey, what's up everybody, it's JediRalts here with another Pokemon Top 10 video. I've decided that I'm going to start doing these more often now, so expect about one a week from now on as I gain more free time. This time, I'll be discussing my top 10 Pokemon abilities. So let's get started. Just like in my first video, this will be opinion based. Pokemon abilities are things that can't really be compared to each other. So this list is just the abilities that I like to have on my Pokemon that I feel are useful in battle. If you don't agree with my list, don't make a big deal about it, because it's all just my opinion. With that in mind, let's get started at number 10. Number 10! Number 10 was something I couldn't exactly split up, so I split it into 3 different abilities that all sort of do similar things. Take the luck aspect out of the game. Battle Armor, Own Tempo, and Oblivious are all incredibly good abilities to have on your Pokemon, at least in my opinion, because like I said, they take the luck aspect out of the game. Battle Armor negates critical hits, Own Tempo negates confusion, and Oblivious negates infatuation, which all 3 cause the game to be more luck-based. The only problem is that there's a very small pool of Pokemon that can actually get these abilities, mostly rock and ground types for Battle Armor. It's pretty more spread out for the other 2, but it's a very small handful of Pokemon, so you're not going to get it all the time, but it is something good to have if you're using one of the Pokemon that has them, because it makes the game more strategy-based, which is something I would prefer. Number 9. In competitive battling, figuring out your opponent's Pokemon as fast as you can is one of the most important things there. A lot of people will bring pens and paper and actually keep track of opponents' moves, items, and abilities throughout the battle so they can constantly have an advantage over them and they won't forget what they're up against. But wouldn't it be great if there was an ability that lets you get rid of one of those steps? An ability that I like at number 9 here is Frisk, the ability that lets you check your opponent's item. Items are something that can change the game completely because they're not exclusive to any Pokemon. Well, not always. But being able to figure out your opponent's item, potentially figuring out their Pokemon's gimmick, is a really good thing to know in competitive battling. It's mostly a Ghost and Psychic exclusive, so if you like to run Ghost or Psychic type Pokemon, which are incredibly powerful special sweepers, this would be great to know if there was something that could possibly negate your special sweeper. If you found out that somebody had something that allowed them to stop your attacks in a way, or potentially had an air balloon if you wanted to use Earthquake or something like that, or maybe even had a Choice Scarf if you were afraid that they were a sweeper. Number 8. Moxie. If you're running a physical sweeper and you don't want to waste time boosting your attack with Swords Dance, Moxie is definitely the ability you want to have. Moxie boosts a Pokemon's attack stat after it KOs an opponent. This allows skilled users to send out a Pokemon knowing Moxie against a weakened opponent and get a quick and easy KO and attack boost, allowing them to be closer to their full potential quicker and freeing up a 4th move in their move pool. It's excellent for when you just want to start sweeping right away, or if you want to have 4 moves and use an item such as the Choice Scarf or the Choice Band. Number 7. No Guard. Don't you just hate it when your opponent keeps using moves like Dig or Phantom Force and you just aren't fast enough to stop them? No Guard forces all moves used by or on a Pokemon with this ability to never miss. This is great for Pokemon who have it, who are generally slower Pokemon, because they can hit opponents who are spamming moves that take 2 turns to hit. However, the ability is a double-edged sword because it allows your opponents to get shots at you with less accurate moves just as you can, so that prevents this ability from being any higher on my list. Number 6. So this ability is a bit of a cheesy addition to my list just because it's only exclusive to the Porygon line, but you can't deny its power. Download is an ability that adjusts your attack or special attack depending on which defensive stat of your opponent's is lower. This allows a good sweeper like Porygon Z to get a special attack boost if the opponent's special defense is low. But it could also be used to scout out your opponent by seeing which of their defensive stats is lower and what moves they would be more susceptible to. But like I said, since it's a Porygon line exclusive, it's not going to be any higher on my list, but I had to give it a mention because it is a good ability. Number 5. Serene Grace. This ability is great if you like using those moves that have added bonuses, but you just can't seem to get them. Serene Grace boosts your chance of getting those added effects by 20%. This is nice for those moves like Shadow Ball that can lower special defense, or my personal favorite, Tri Attack, which will have a greater chance of burning, paralyzing, or freezing the opponent. A 3-in-1! Now there's only certain moves that will get these bonuses, so you can check on the Bulbapedia page, you can get the whole list.
Number 4.
Intimidate. Anybody who battles for fun knows this ability can be a game changer. It lowers your foe's attack stat by 1 stage when a Pokemon with this ability is sent out. If a Pokemon with it is sent out at the right time, it can cripple a physical sweeper. And what? Do I need to say more? Huh? Huh, punk? Huh? Do I? That's right! Didn't think I did! You don't want to attack me, do you? Nah, I'm too intimidating! Huh? Ah!
Number 3.
Prankster. I had a difficult time putting Prankster at number 3 on my list just because of how often I use it. Prankster is an ability that gives priority to status moves, and anyone who's been in any sort of competitive battling situation knows that status moves are the backbone of any strategy. Being able to set up paralysis or poison on an opponent before they even have a chance to stop you, that could almost be considered being overpowered, and that's why you gotta love it.
Number 2.
Mold Breaker. Mold Breaker is an ability that can completely derail an opponent's strategy. Mold Breaker allows you to use moves regardless of abilities. You're trying to avoid an earthquake using your ability Levitate? Not with Mold Breaker. Trying to divert an electric attack away from your water-type teammate using Lightning Rod? Not with Mold Breaker around. Mold Breaker is the complete troll of all abilities, and I would put it at number 1 on my list if there weren't for one other ability.
Number 1.
Magic Guard. Remember at Prankster when I said that status abilities were the backbone of competitive battling strategies? Magic Guard is just a big middle finger to all of that. Magic Guard is an ability that makes your Pokemon only take damage from attacks, any sort of poison damage, burn damage, damage from spikes, damage from recoil. All of that is gone. You can't rely on any sort of stall strategies. You can't rely on entry hazards. You can't even rely on them beating themselves with their own life orb. You're going to have to battle it out, duke it out, fists going at it, whatever. But you cannot rely on any sort of gimmicks with a Pokemon with the Magic Guard ability, which is why I'm going to put it at number 1 on my list, because having been in competitive battling situations, I know how useful this ability would be to have on a Pokemon. So that's it. My top 10 favorite Pokemon abilities. Now, if you thought an ability should have been on this list but wasn't, or maybe there was an ability on this list that should have been higher or lower, always go to the comments section and let me know what you thought. And as always, you can click on this annotation here to subscribe to my channel, or you can go to the links below, check out my Facebook page and Twitter page. You can figure out when new updates are coming. And as always, I'm JediRalts. I'll see you guys next time.